If you're Asian, you cannot live without it. Is it tea? Not really. Its white, brown, and even black forms have knitted themselves with human society, with years of long history. You will see it in every shape, form, and size. It's rice. Welcome. You're listening to TALRadio powered by Touch a Life Foundation, and this is Foodology. I'm radio host Devansh, and on this show, I talk about the enormous world of a little word called food. Rice is pretty simple, right? But we always underestimate it. This little grain of 4 letters has the power to change the world, and has done for centuries. Rice is a staple in major parts of the world, especially in Asia, where you would be surprised to find out the ways in which it is used. Inside the kitchens, not only is it made into boiled or steamed rice, but also into snacks, flatbreads, sweets, puddings, and whatnot. Outside the kitchen, rice finds its way into almost every religious ceremonies. That's how important this grain is and has been to our species. Today, the world's largest rice producers are China, India, and Indonesia. Outside of Asia, Brazil is the largest rice producer. Rice grows in warm and wet climates. It is one of the most labor-intensive crops that is grown because of the water usage. Rice plants take around 120 days to grow, from seeds to mature plants. Farmers then have to flood the rice fields because rice has better growth and produces higher yields when it is grown in flooded soils. There are many different types of rice with many different qualities. Quality factors relate to grain length, stickiness, aroma, texture, and flavor. Even though rice is costly to produce, harvest, and store, even though there are many other grains and foods that can function as dietary staple like wheat, corn, potatoes, etc., which you can often purchase for less money, with less hassle and without regard for variety or type, we still continue to love rice, and the interest in this grain is ever increasing. In Asian cultures, rice is associated with women and fertility. Religious ceremonies have been conducted for the productiveness of rice crop, fertility of domesticated animals, and the human species, from how it's grown to how it's harvested. Throughout Asia, rice is still considered sacred and has shaped cultures and traditions for centuries. Once you start thinking about rice, it is difficult to stop. It's basically impossible to overstate how important rice is to the people around the globe. Rice is the source of 1/5 of all the calories consumed by the world's population. It forms the backbone of millions of people's diets. It has been a key player in historical events and a vital element of many food cultures, enriching our health and lives. For years, here is the story of the humble rice. To understand the story of rice, it's important to understand what it is. Technically, rice, just like other grains, is the edible seed of a grass. It is unique among grains in that it was domesticated not once, not twice, but many times throughout history, that too in 3 different continents. From a wild Asian grass to a refined crop that is the staple diet of half of the world's population, rice has been documented in history books as far back as 2500 BC as a source of food and tradition as well. The history of this grain remains quite a bit controversial, with very little agreement on where, when, and how many times humans cultivated or tried to grow rice in different parts of the world. Asian cultivated rice originated in the region from South China to the Ganga River basin in India. It is also to be noted that many other wild rice varieties were being grown around the same time in different continents of Africa and America independently. Rice has witnessed legendary events which continue to shape religion and people's beliefs to this day. Rice has its mentions in the Yajurveda and then is frequently referred to in Sanskrit texts. Sri Lakshmi is the Hindu form of the timeless mother goddess who nurtures and nourishes all life and is the goddess of abundance. Indians worship rice itself as Lakshmi or Annapurna, which is one of her many manifestations. Rice is held sacred by Buddhists because when, after long meditation, Siddharth's body became emancipated due to starvation, it was rice cooked in milk that revived him. A Chinese legend mentions that a goddess visited all points of the compass besieged by hunger, until at one place she found a herb and she undressed in front of it. From the plant's bud trickled a few drops of milk, and the goddess gave a few drops of blood. From this arose rice, white on the inside and red on the outside. Many African legends tell how rice was fertilized with blood of the first man. There are many such tales which tell you how rice originated throughout the world, and all these stories have interesting protagonists. They are too much to talk about on here, so maybe you can search them up if it interests you. Or let me know, I can do a whole episode dedicated to it. No matter what story, rice transformed the hunters and gatherers to settle and form societies, and later empires, just because of a steady and stable food supply. Around 300 BC, rice reached Greece and the Mediterranean region. Rice cultivation was carried into all regions, having the necessary warmth and abundant moisture favorable for its growth. It was introduced to the Americas during the Columbian Exchange. This crop was quite common in West Africa by the end of the 17th century. Because rice was not indigenous to America and plantation owners had no knowledge how to grow it, the enslaved Africans were brought to fuel rice cultivation in America. In the rice kitchens of the American South, Africans introduced the preference that once the rice was steamed, each grain was meant to be cooked separate from others, each on its own. These techniques and the cuisines using rice can still be found rooted in people's hearts today. Since the ancient times, rice has been one of the most commonly used grains all over the world. Throughout history, it has been one of man's most important foods. Rice can be processed into rice bran oil, rice cakes, various foods, and rice wine. Rice wine is actually made from fermented glutinous rice, with a process in which yeast transforms the sugars in rice into alcohol. It is used in a variety of Asian cuisines, particularly Chinese cuisine, and is often added to marinades and sauces to add sweetness and depth of flavor. Rice vinegar is also referred to as rice wine vinegar, is made by fermenting the sugars in rice first into alcohol and then into acid. Other than food, rice flour can be used in the main components of face powders, infant formulas for polishing expensive jewelry. Rice bran oil can be used in making soaps, as an ingredient in insecticides. Silica-rich rice husks can be used as raw material for constructions such as insulation, as a conditioner in commercial fertilizers. Of all these uses of rice, the one that I'm about to mention has got to be the one we're most grateful for. It has saved us quite a few times. If you've ever dropped your phone in the sink or down the toilet, chances are that you're panicking. Rice comes to help. You can fill up a bowl or a sandwich bag with rice and place your phone in it. Leave it for some time or a couple of hours and then take it out. The rice should have absorbed all the water and your phone would be back in business. You're welcome. Women in Asia have been using rice water to cleanse their skin for many years. Today, rice water is gaining popularity as a skin treatment too. It is said to soothe and tone your skin and even improve different skin conditions. The best part is that you can make rice water inexpensively at home. Rice water contains a substance known to help protect and repair your skin. Not just rice water, you can use rice flour for skin improvement and rejuvenation. The use of rice flour on skin has been a treasured beauty secret of the women in Japan, Indonesia, and other Southeast Asian countries. The phytic acid in rice flour may help to treat acne and post-acne inflammation. Phytic acid is used in chemical peels as it can help to reduce scarring and dark spots after acne. This flour aids in maintaining your skin health and gives you flawless and radiant skin. Not just topically, rice is a staple food for a reason. You may get elated knowing about all the good these tiny grains do inside your body. Rice is not only versatile and easy to cook, but it's also light on the stomach. There are many types of rice like long grain, basmati, black rice, white rice, sticky rice, jasmine rice, and all of these may vary in terms of their health benefits. Traditionally, we are all used to eating rice with the husk, but with time, dehusked white rice, which is brown rice, came into limelight because of its numerous health benefits. A lot of us have this confusion between white rice and brown rice. What exactly is this brown rice? Brown rice is a dehusked and unpolished rice, produced by removing the outer layer, which is the hull of the rice kernel. This procedure helps the brown rice to keep its nutritional value high. It is chewier as compared to white rice and has a slightly nutty flavor. Rice will give you energy and can help you during exercise. A lot of athletes often opt for white rice as a preferred source of energy, especially when refueling after exercise. This is because refined carbohydrates like white rice are a source of quick, easily accessible carbohydrate, which is needed to replenish muscle glycogen after physical exertion. Rice can prevent chronic constipation. The insoluble fiber from rice acts like a soft sponge that may be pushed through the intestinal tract quickly and easily. Consumption of rice is extremely beneficial for your health, simply because it does not contain harmful fats, cholesterol, or sodium. It forms an integral part of a balanced diet. The low levels of fat, cholesterol, and sodium present in rice also help to reduce obesity and health conditions associated with being overweight. Brown rice is rich in calcium and magnesium and helps to maintain your bone health. It is helpful to treat medical conditions such as arthritis and osteoporosis. Rice contains high levels of nutrients that stimulate the growth and activity of neurotransmitters. This eventually helps to prevent Alzheimer's disease to a considerate extent. Various species of rice have been found to stimulate these neuroprotective enzymes in the brain, which inhibit the effects of free radicals and other dangerous toxins that can cause dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Rice is an excellent source of vitamins and minerals like niacin, vitamin D, calcium, fiber, iron, thiamine, and riboflavin. These vitamins present in rice provide the foundation for body metabolism, immune system health, and the general functioning of the body. Even though we majorly consume white rice, the benefits of brown rice far outweigh that of white rice. This is down to the fact that brown rice is a whole grain and white rice is a refined one. However, white rice cooks faster than brown rice, and since it consumes less energy to prepare, it is the preferred option in most households. Intertwined with human society, rice has a history which cannot be ignored. These little grains became the building blocks for the greatest civilizations the human world has seen. In some cultures, rice is thrown at weddings. In others, rice goddesses are worshipped. The whole plant of rice can be reused for cooking fuel and feeding livestock. The husks can be recycled as fuel or bedding, or added to building materials or turned into paper. And there are endless ways in which rice can be used, as I've already told you. In traditional medicine, rice has been used to treat skin and gastric conditions, or boiled down for an eye lotion. To this day, it is used as an ingredient in beauty products. People have used rice to make snacks, desserts, main course, alcoholic beverages, and special foods for religious ceremonies. And they have achieved this because there are more than 40,000 varieties of rice, and is a staple in more than 100 countries. Many of these countries have their very own rice dish that highlights their local cuisine and culture, like paella in Spain, risotto in Italy, bibimbap in Korea, khichdi in India, sushi in Japan, and so on. Rice is a source of carbohydrates, the body's main fuel source. Carbohydrates can keep you energized and satisfied, and are important for fueling exercise. Brown rice, especially, is an excellent source of many nutrients, including fiber, manganese, selenium, magnesium, and B vitamins. Whilst rice farms are global, they are mainly concentrated in the Asian developing countries, but it needs a good infrastructure to support the industry, including disease and pest control. The good news is that for the future, scientists are working on techniques to maximize all year-round production of rice on a given plot of land in order to increase the yield to battle this increased demand with the increasing population. Rice is rightfully an accepted and celebrated part of our world, and thankfully does not seem to be replaceable. Thank you so much for sticking around with me on this episode of Foodology. I had an incredible time talking to you. This is radio host Devansh, signing off. Hope you have a beautiful and a magical day ahead. See you soon.